I just got this new K-cup holder for my coffees, but honestly, I do not love the way that it looks because I like everything to be neutral colored, and the fact that they're red kind of annoys me. So if anybody has a good recommendation for an aesthetically pleasing K-cup that I can stock my K-cup holder with, please let me know, because you know me, I'm all about those matchy neutral colors, and the red and blue vibe just ain't doing it for me. Throw a little bit of milk in my coffee, and then we will get started with our perfume business. All right, so good morning guys, I'm back again, and I know again I have not made a video in a couple of weeks and I feel really bad. I'm going to get on a more regular schedule, but yeah, I have literally so many things I have to do. It's crazy. But I'm just sitting down to a cup of coffee, and today I have a couple of videos to make for you. The first one is going to be the first perfume that I have purchased in well over 3 or 4 months, which really says something because I haven't been purchasing perfumes, and I had decluttered my collection and gone down from about 70 perfumes to about 19 perfumes. Yeah, and I had really no intentions of growing my collection back up or adding to my collection, and I said that if I was going to bring one in, it would have to fit on a tray, or like I kind of gave myself parameters so that I wouldn't go crazy and go down this slippery slope of purchasing every good perfume that I found, because we all know how that goes. It's a very slippery slope. So I'm really excited to share with you this perfume that is the first one I've purchased in many months, and it is officially fall, and it's gotten quite chilly here. Most days are like pretty chilly. I would say we still have the odd warm day, but it still is pretty cold outside for the most part, and definitely feels like fall. I actually just bought a new fall/winter coat the other day that I really like, and I've been really getting into fall fashion, which is something I normally don't do. I kind of end up just throwing on any old coat with, like, you know, a pair of leggings when I have to run out and do something. And I decided, you know, life is too short not to enjoy fall fashion, especially being up here in Canada. We spend a lot of time in cooler seasons, so you have to find a way to make them enjoyable and fun. I don't want to feel like a bum 3/4 of the year, and it's very easy to do that when you live in a place like this where it's cool. Also, like where I live specifically, it's a smaller community, and it's not like a ritzy community. It's like very much like a farming type community. And not a lot of people put a lot of, I mean, aside from people who actually work in like a corporate setting, which there isn't a lot of corporate settings in my specific place where I live, like in this town. So aside from those people, there's not a lot of like fashion inspiration. I know I'm going off on a tangent, but there isn't a lot of fashion inspiration. Like, it's not as if we can go to a mall and you know, walk down the mall or go to a nice coffee shop and you see a lot of people in like nice clothing. So sometimes in life, you have to be your own inspiration, I have learned, and you have to reach for inspiration in other places, which is, I think, a large part of why people love YouTube, because on YouTube, you can search out any niche, whether it's fashion or fragrance or, you know, home decor, and you can find that inspiration and bring it into your life, and then create a home that you love, and outfits that you love, and fragrances that you love, and all of that kind of stuff. Anyway, that's my little lesson for the day. And what I was getting to with that long interlude is that I am burning a fall candle. This is the vanilla pumpkin marshmallow candle from Bath & Body Works. Smells amazing. It's one of my favorite candles, my new favorite candles from Bath & Body Works. I don't think I'm going to buy any more fall candles because honestly, it's going to take me a while to go through this candle to begin with. It usually does take me some time, and before I know it, it's going to be like the Christmas season, and then I'm going to be into my winter, Christmassy, snowy, marshmallow fireside kind of candles, but we're not there yet. So far, we are still with the pumpkin spirit, and we are staying with the pumpkin spirit as long as possible. Okay, so the first perfume, the first full bottle perfume purchase that I have made since probably August, because I guess in August I went on a vacation and I purchased a couple of perfumes, or one perfume when I was there, and I purchased another when I came back to sort of review for you guys, but it ended up going back. I took a little bit of a hiatus. By the way, you guys can expect to see a lot more fragrance content coming on my channel because I have recently started to get more into body sprays and body mists. So stay tuned for that chapter. I'm really excited to share my thoughts on some body mists and stuff like that with you guys, and that is coming. But this is the first perfume that really grabbed me enough or stood out to me enough that I thought, yes, this is worth buying and bringing into my collection. So this is Jean Paul Gaultier Scandale Le Parfum, and this is the newest flanker from the Jean Paul Gaultier Scandal line of fragrances. So if you watch my channel, you know that the Scandal perfumes have not worked out for me historically. Even the original Scandal, the one that smells like honey and beeswax, the one that was very, very potent and is such a monster, that one I even have purchased twice. The first time, I think it was a blind buy way back in the beginning when I first started my fragrance channel, and the other one was actually more recently. It was within the last year because I really wanted to like that perfume and I really wanted it to grow on me, and it just never ended up growing on me. So all of these Scandal fragrances just have not been my cup of tea. They're all very like clubby, young, attention-grabbing, in-your-face type of perfumes. They have amazing performance and all of them are monsters. So when I saw this one sitting on the shelf, I actually walked into my local Shoppers the other day and I asked if there was anything new. And they said that the new Scandal came out. And immediately I was like, oh, that's probably not going to be my cup of tea based on my previous experience with all of the Scandal perfumes. But you guys, I sprayed this on paper and it was a very strong like to a love at first sniff. I actually had to hold myself back from just buying a box on the spot, but I did hold back. I sprayed it on my skin. Actually, after I sprayed it on my skin, those first like few minutes on my skin, I didn't care for it. It kind of started to smell a little bit weird with my skin chemistry, and I thought, oh, this isn't going to be very good. I don't think I'm going to like it. To my surprise, the entire rest of the day and into the evening, it was all I could smell. And I had only sprayed one spray of this on my left wrist. It was wafting up. I kept on getting whiffs of it. It was on my shirt. The entire next day, I could smell it coming off of my shirt from just one spray. So I knew right off the hop that this had really, really good performance. And after it dried down, that kind of weird thing that it was doing with my skin chemistry sort of left, and it started to smell very enjoyable, and I really, really liked it. So a couple of days later, I did end up going in and buying a bottle because I just couldn't stop trying to sniff this on myself. I kept on getting like little whiffs here and there. There was like a tiny little bit of it on my fall coat, and I just kept on wanting to smell this. I kept bringing my wrist up to my nose and saying, that smells really good. And I just kept on wanting to smell it. So first I'll give you a close up of the bottle. So this bottle is very similar to the other Scandal fragrance bottles. It has pretty much the same style. It actually looks very similar to I think it is the So Scandal or the Scandal by Night. It doesn't look like the original Scandal bottle. And of course it does have the trademark legs on the top, which honestly, this bottle style is not my favorite. I think it's a little bit almost tacky with the legs, but it's kind of a smart marketing idea because you always know what the fragrance is when you see those legs. But if you notice, I don't know if you can tell, but the legs are actually like a champagne gold color. They're not a silver and they're not a gold, but they are actually like a champagne color. They're very, very pretty actually. And then it just says Scandal on the front of the bottle. It has like this multifaceted red look, and then you can see the fragrance inside. So I do like that it's not a completely opaque bottle because I really don't like when I can't see how much of a fragrance is left. And then on the bottom, you just have the applicable fragrance information. So let's go ahead and remove the legs. And this is what it looks like without the cap. So you guys, okay, this is such a pretty fragrance. So first I will say this does not smell anything like the other Scandal fragrances. I would guess that there might be like a hint of the other Scandals in here, not so much the original Scandal. This doesn't have honey or beeswax. It doesn't smell like the original Scandal perfume by a long shot. So if you really did not like that perfume, or even if you didn't like any of the other Scandal perfumes, this is still worth checking out because it is quite different. In fact, this could have been a completely new perfume. This did not have to be a Scandal flanker. I think it's almost a little bit misplaced to call it a flanker. I can pick up on just a tiny floral touch, like a tiny floral component of the previous Scandals remains here, but you're not getting cherry, you're not getting anything super strong, you're not getting heavy patchouli, in fact no patchouli, you're not getting beeswax. It is not that strong, potent, polarizing, headache inducing or potentially headache inducing scent that you have come to know with the other Scandals, or at least personally I find the other Scandals to be a little headache inducing. This is quite different. This has a very nutty, sweet, creamy, sort of vanillic, almost powdery quality to it. First thing that this reminded me of, and actually the lady who was working at the store that day said the same thing, that this reminds her a lot of Hypnotic Poison. And I've also had a couple of people ask me that question on Instagram when I shared a photo. They said, if I have Hypnotic Poison, do I need this one as well? Like, are they different enough that you could have both? My answer to that, my long and short answer is that no, you do not need both. But you could have one or the other. It would just be about which one you prefer more. They are different enough that you could have both. I think they are different enough, but you certainly don't need both. Like, I certainly don't need both. And my personal preference between this and Hypnotic Poison, I would say, is probably this one. Funnily enough, this doesn't actually share that many similarities with the notes of Hypnotic Poison. This has quite a different note profile. So the notes that they have listed for this perfume are jasmine in the top, caramel and salt in the middle, and vanilla in the base. And honestly, I don't really get salt with this. And I'm very surprised not to see almond listed. I definitely picked up on an almondy, vanillic vibe. This smells very, very similar to Hypnotic Poison. But I would say this is actually sort of like a hybrid between Hypnotic Poison from Dior and Juliet Has a Gun, which is the caramel vanilla Juliet Has a Gun in the pink bottle. If those two perfumes had a child, this would be it. So right off the hop, that sounds amazing because both of those perfumes are very feminine, very caramelish, vanillic, creamy, powdery, comforting, but also very sexy and sort of alluring and really good for date nights. And they're just very, very overtly feminine. I absolutely love that type of fragrance. This perfume, you guys, has such monster performance. I know that a lot of people have said that Hypnotic Poison doesn't last as long as it used to because I think it's been reformulated. And I am talking about the Hypnotic Poison EDT, by the way. The EDP is a whole other story. We won't talk about that in today's video. And Juliet Has a Gun has okay performance, but this far outweighs Juliet Has a Gun's in terms of performance. So if you like but you want something that's going to project a little bit longer, that you don't need to spray as much, it just has more body and more volume, and it does last a lot longer. And then it also has this super seductive, like, floral component as well. It's kind of like the best of both worlds for me. And I think it's perfect for a date night, but also this is just the perfect time of year to wear a perfume like this. It's a little bit chilly. This really reminds me of something I would spray on like a cashmere sweater or a cashmere scarf or a really nice wool jacket going outside when I want to grab a latte or something and it's that crisp fall air. And also, you guys, this would make a fantastic Christmas gift or a fantastic birthday gift or any other type of holiday that you celebrate. If you don't celebrate Christmas, this would make a fantastic gift for anybody because it's very, very likable. I think you would be hard-pressed not to like this one or to find somebody who did not like this one. It's just a very likable scent. So Hypnotic Poison in comparison has coconut, plum, apricot, Brazilian rosewood, jasmine, caraway, tuberose, rose, lily of the valley, vanilla, almond, sandalwood, and musk. So Hypnotic Poison is quite a lot more multifaceted. I would say the Hypnotic Poison is probably the more, I don't know if I want to say elegant. I think Dior just has a reputation where Jean Paul Gaultier is a little bit more, has a reputation for being a little bit more like sexual, sexy date night, where Dior has always been a little bit more elevated and very like posh. And then also Hypnotic Poison is a lot more complex compared to this one. It has more nuances. And I would say the difference between this one and Dior, the Hypnotic Poison, is that Hypnotic Poison has more of an incensey, kind of incensey, mysterious quality about it, where this one has just more of a flirty, feminine, powdery caramel quality about it. Dior is a little bit more nutty. This one doesn't really have as much of that nutty component, although if you told me there was almond in here, I wouldn't be surprised. But this one just takes it a little bit more in that caramel, vanilla, almost powdery direction. Yeah, I mean, it does smell very, very, very close to Hypnotic Poison. Very close. And that almost deterred me from purchasing it because I have had Hypnotic Poison. That actually was my signature scent. When I was like 21 years old, I went through a couple of bottles of Hypnotic Poison. That was the OG before they reformulated it. And I absolutely loved it and I still love it, but I just kind of got sick of it. There's something in here that is different enough for me from Hypnotic Poison that I felt good. Not only felt good, I really wanted this one. Where Hypnotic Poison, I'm like, I don't really think it has a place in my collection anymore. So yeah, you guys, this is going to be kind of a short video. I'm not talking about a lot of perfumes in today's video, but this is the first perfume that I have brought into my collection in quite a while. I'm really happy to have it. And you know, I will say too, a lot of people ask me like, how are you feeling about your collection now that you've decluttered it? And you know, maybe do a video talking about how you feel about your collection. I'll maybe do that in a video coming up. I'll talk about it a little bit more in depth and tell you like what perfumes I gravitate towards and all of that kind of stuff. I've also added a body mist into my collection, but I will leave that for a body mist video, which will also be coming out probably next week. But I will say that the fact that I haven't been going crazy buying perfumes makes this purchase more special than if it was just another perfume that I brought into my collection. I'm really trying to appreciate the stuff that I have and give it some time and actually wear and enjoy the stuff that I have. So I'm not looking to buy another perfume or bring another perfume into my collection for quite a while, because I just don't want to get to a place again where like every month I'm bringing in 2 or 3 new perfumes, because it just gets to the point that you can't even appreciate those perfumes before you bring another one in. You don't even give them a chance. I think it's the greatest tragedy to have a beautiful perfume that sits on your shelf and you only wear it once every few months. I think that's just such a tragedy. It's so like, there's something very special and very rewarding about actually wearing the perfumes that you have. And now that I have a smaller collection, I'm able to do that versus when I had like 75. But yeah, I'm quite happy to have this one. Like I say, I'm not a huge fan of the legs. I'm not a huge fan of the bottle, but the scent inside is just perfect and so good for this time of year. And I'm really happy that I have it, and I do really recommend. By the way, I will have this linked down below to the best of my ability if anybody is looking for a bottle for themselves or for someone that they know. This is one of my favorite new discoveries of this year for sure. Oh, I did want to mention a lot of the new perfumes that have come out lately, you guys, like over the last few months, the summer especially, were not that great. Like, they didn't wow me. There wasn't that many new releases that I was really excited about. This is the first designer new release that I actually got excited about. So I think that that says something. And yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed hearing my thoughts about the Scandal Le Parfum. So that's it for today's video, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and give this video a like if you are interested in perfume content, and if you found this video in any way entertaining, informative, helpful, relaxing, or whatever the case is. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys all very soon in my next video. Bye for now.